how have you adjusted to be an entrepreneur versus, you were a firefighter, you're kind of told what to do and when to show up to work and stuff? How's that?
Making the transition over to going full time with the detailing and stuff. It's like I was able to incorporate a lot of stuff that I learned and stuff through being disciplined. That's the word I was looking for.
Right, yeah.
Dino, what are you doing? Get out of my seat.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of On the Move with Matt. Today I'm here with Anthony Masiello. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
All right, we got
Perfect.
past that. And he is the owner of Top Dog Detailing. So thanks for coming on the podcast today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for inviting us out to this.
Yeah, we're excited to learn about what you guys do. So you and your wife own this business, right? Top Dog Detailing?
Yeah. We own Top Dog Detailing, located in Stephen City, Virginia, and we're a full service mobile detailing business. We started in 2019. It was a different business name. It was MMS Pro Auto Detail LLC, which made no sense at all, but it was something I did on my days off. And then I just got busier and busier and went full time with it and never looked back.
So what did you do before you detailed cars?
So I used to work as a firefighter EMT.
Okay.
I worked here in Frederick County, Virginia. I did 10 years with the fire department. I got hired in 2014 and did that until 2023. So just under 10 years, but yeah. And yeah, so I did firefighter EMT. I was a volunteer before that at Middletown Fire Station, and then started detailing in 2019, and it just took off from there.
So did you have any experience detailing cars before this, or how did you learn the skill?
Not really. We did. I always liked keeping my vehicles clean and stuff, which I don't really anymore because I don't have any
Right,
time.
yeah.
But I always liked keeping my vehicles clean on my days off from work at the fire department. I always enjoyed
Yeah.
cleaning my truck, stuff like that. And then
Right.
people started noticing, like my friends would start noticing, like, "Hey, why is yours look different than mine? Even when I clean it." I'm like, I don't really know. Like, it's
Right,
maybe
yeah.
I just do something a little differently. And then people started asking me, like, "Oh, how much would you charge to do my truck, or how much would you charge to do whatever?"
Right.
And I just started throwing them random prices and stuff, and like,
Just kind of
yeah,
snowballed from
yeah,
there.
it was,
Yeah.
it was just, I was like, "Oh, I can make $20 here, 30, like, whatever." It was just kind of side money and stuff, but yeah, and I just continued, and then the actual mobile side of it. I'm not going to jump to questions, but like the whole mobile side of it, because we go to the customer and do everything at their location.
Right.
One person was like, "Well, I can't really bring my vehicle to you. Can you come to me?" And I'm like, I've never done that before, but
Right.
I'll just throw my junk in the back of my truck. I'll come do it at your house."
Right,
And
yeah.
it was like the world of mobile detailing for us was born.
Oh, wow. So it kind of
So,
just organically
yeah,
happened.
yeah. It's very organically. So
When you were at the fire department, did you guys have to clean all the engines and stuff like that?
oh yeah,
Did that help you a
yeah.
lot?
A big thing with the fire service, the fire department, is you take a great deal of pride in keeping your equipment clean. So we were. I worked at all the different stations in Frederick County at one time, but each station has at least one fire truck, ambulances, stuff like brush trucks, whatever, and everything. You keep them very, very clean. Every time you bring it back, we usually
Right.
washed everything once a day,
Well,
regardless if it was clean or dirty. But
yeah.
it was just a thing to do. Make sure everything. Because I mean, it's your, um, it's your image on the public. So
Right.
you want to obviously look professional when you're
Yeah.
going to a whatever kind of call you're running and stuff. So, but yeah, so we did everything there. But I always could take it to the next level. It drove the guys that I worked with nuts because all they wanted to do is just kind of wash it off and dry it. And I'm
Right.
out there,
Yeah.
tire shine and actually detailing stuff. Like,
Right. Waxing
come
it.
on, man, we're ready to go to lunch and stuff. Like,
Right. Yeah.
almost done. We're almost done.
So how did you come up with Top Dog Detailing? How did you come up with that name?
So we rebranded in 2022. It used to be the previous business name, and we we knew we needed to change the name because we wanted to obviously grow and expand and just actually be something that you can remember, and
Right.
actually create a brand around what we do. And we came up with we tossed around some other different names and stuff, and I'm like, we just kept playing back because my wife Valerie and stuff, we kept tossing around names and stuff. I'm like, well, I don't really like that, and
Right.
then just out of the blue, I was like, what about? Because we were thinking like we were thinking other than like something like high end, like ultimate or platinum, something high end. We were trying to think of, and I was like Top Dog. I was like, it just sounds catchy. It just kind of came out of nowhere.
Right.
It's like Top Dog Detail. She's like, I love it.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's do it. So then we had to come up with a logo and everything, and that took a while too. We played around with like a really good graphic designer in Winchester, and she kept sending over and over and over different proofs of Top. I'm like, I just don't like that. I want to do whatever.
Right. Yeah.
The one we finally made, my shirt's a mess, but like with the French Bulldog and stuff with the aviator sunglasses on, she sent that, and I said, that's it right there.
Right.
I have to have that.
Yeah.
So
no, it is catchy.
now it's all over my van and all over everything. So.
And do you like go to stores and around town and people are like, hey, you're the detail guy?
We do. People I've never met. I mean, we have a really active Facebook page. So our Facebook page it went from 200-300 followers just a couple years ago, which was mostly just my friends, my friends and family that like your business page. Yeah. Hey, you like my business?
Right. Yeah.
To where we have almost, I think currently we have, I don't want to say, we're almost at 3,000 followers. I mean, I think I want to say somewhere around 2,800 at the moment followers, and it just grows organically. I mean,
right.
I send invites to people here and there, but just people that see, because we make reels and post our before and afters and stuff, and
right.
I'll check it one morning and I'm like, oh, we got like 5 more. Where did this come from?
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, it spreads quickly.
Yeah.
So who's coming up with the ideas for the reels? Are you
my
filming
wife?
them?
My wife Valerie.
Yeah.
Valerie. If I gotta send a shout out to Valerie. She's I used to do everything myself with the business, and I mean everything. We did. It was she knew I detailed almost. I had a little paper calendar book, and people would text me, call me, whatever, and she had no part of it, and whatever. And I was terribly disorganized. I mean, I thought I was doing really good. I'm like, making, doing this job, but, and then I just got overwhelmed, and finally she's like, what if I just started responding to certain customers? Would that help? I was like, sure, whatever. But I want to do everything myself. I'm like, I'm fine. I can do it.
Right. Yeah.
And she's looking through some of the messages and stuff, and she's like, some of these people you didn't respond to for like 4 days. And now she responds to people within, like minutes,
right,
and stuff. So I thought it was doing really good, but she's been absolutely wonderful. She's, so she now handles everything behind the scenes. I mean, she comes up with all the reels, or all the cool, catchy reels that we do on Facebook.
Right.
I'll feed off her creativity when she actually sparks the idea, but she's the one that comes up with all that. And she does all the behind the scenes stuff. She does all the booking, the phone calls.
Yeah.
She's a stay-at-home mom with our three daughters. And yeah, she loves when people call and she gets to talk to people during the day, because she jokes that it's the only time throughout the day she gets to talk to adults.
Right. Yeah.
She knows stay-at-home mom and stuff with the girls.
Yeah.
And so she does a great job. So I have to.
Yeah.
Without her, we wouldn't.
Shout out to her. Yeah.
Shout out to her.
So do you enjoy being in the reels and like doing the acting and stuff like that, or is that kind of something that you really don't like?
I do.
'Cause they are
after
funny.
she gets me going into it.
Okay.
I'll start and I'm like, this is dumb. This is awful. And I'm like, cut this, delete this. I messed up. And then I just get frustrated and stuff. Then after I kind of start going with it and I get going and good at it and stuff, I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of fun, And
right. Yeah.
so then it actually smooths out and it's a lot easier for both of us. But yeah, usually once she kind of drags me into it.
Right. Then you're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got to know who's behind the dog costume. Different people.
So it has been different people. Yeah. The dog costume, we have a bulldog, a French bulldog kind of costume, kind of similar to your, it's not as cool as the whatever you call it, the dino.
The dino?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the dog too.
I know, but the dino, that's pretty cool. It's inflatable and everything. So
right.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we have our mascot. His name is Tank. Tank the dog, which is our just a big whatever you're trying to say, costume.
Yeah.
A mascot, and usually it is Valerie. If it looks shorter, like when you see the dog, it's definitely Valerie. If you don't see Valerie around and then you see the dog costume, it's Valerie. But for one of the apple blossom parades, and a couple other parades, we've had other people wear it. So some people a little bit taller. So it's usually her or her sister, my sister-in-law. She's
Yeah.
worn it a couple times. My brother has too, once or twice for pictures and
So
stuff.
so the height of the dog varies
Yes.
per event. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, it's usually Valerie. She does a lot of events with it and stuff. So
Cool.
we wanted to create something that's you can remember, with
Yeah.
a brand and stuff. So kind of like you guys. So
Right. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. And I know you guys are really involved in the community and stuff like that. Like, how has that helped your business grow?
Yeah. Um, we love being part of the community because
Yeah.
when we rebranded when we started, we were like, we want to be part of we want to do more than just detailing. We want to do more than just mobile detailing. I mean, there's a
Right.
bunch of detailers around here, and there's a lot of good people. There's it's a lot of competitors, competition, but I was like, we got to do something that stands out. Like
Right.
let's
Yeah.
be part of the community. And it's not just for getting more business. It's just what we do.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
I'm a local guy. I went to Sharando High School,
Yeah.
and I played football there, so we sponsor a lot of sports there and stuff, especially the football
Right.
games
Yeah.
and stuff. We've got a big banner
Okay.
right at the end of Arrowhead Stadium and stuff. We got a big banner. It's just like Top Dog Detailing. It's like Sharando High School
Right. Yeah.
alumni owned. I was like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
But you give back to the community, and like we do a lot of other stuff. We do different networking events. We sponsor a lot of stuff when we can. I mean, and just going to and you meet so many different people in this area with the Winchester, Frederick County, this whole region.
Right.
The business. I mean, the business is so. I love meeting business owners and stuff.
Right.
Like this morning before I came here, I met with to do a quote for this gentleman. He's a very, very successful business owner in this area, and he wanted a quote on all of his vehicles and fancy antique cars and stuff cleaned. And I spent maybe 10 minutes looking at his cars and like another hour just talking to him because
Right. Yeah.
like I want to hear your story.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
so cool. So
Yeah.
because I know he built what he has all on his own as
Right.
well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's not just cleaning cars; it's a relationship, and then
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in the end of the day, that gets you more business
Absolutely.
without even trying.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes it gets overwhelming because we book sometimes a month out for people waiting for us,
Oh
but
wow.
we can only do so. I mean, it's a good
Right.
problem to have.
Yeah.
It's a great problem to have, but we're
Yeah.
trying to just hang on by the seat
Yeah.
of our pants.
One day at a time. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good problem to
absolutely.
have, though. Yeah.
It is.
So what would you recommend to people? Like, how often should you get your car cleaned? Because when you guys are coming, I mean, are you like doing a full on wax job, shampooing the carpets, all that?
So sure, when we come out, we do have different packages and stuff for our detailing services, but I mean the majority of what we do is everything across the board. So like if we're gonna do a full detail, it's obviously gonna be the inside and outside of your vehicle, but we'll spend anywhere 4+ hours on just that vehicle. And
Oh, wow.
of course, if it's dirtier, we'll spend even
Yeah.
more. The interior is gonna get everything. It's vacuumed. We shampoo the carpets. We shampoo the seats. Steam clean everything. Good like plastic protection on everything. The door jambs, the windows inside and out. Outside is gonna get washed, clay bar, ceramic sealant, wheels, tires, is as much as we can across the board. So yeah, it's definitely a very deep. We call it like a factory reset kind of thing. So
Right.
we try to make your vehicle like you just picked it up or better than when you picked it up from
Right.
our shop. So we usually tell people around. We at least see people coming back every like 6 months.
Okay.
We usually recommend like six months to a year.
Right.
Just because it depends if people have they're a lot dirtier if it's a construction truck or
Right.
got a minivan with a whole bunch of kids and stuff. We'll
Yeah.
it's gonna have milkshakes and French fries and
Right. Yeah.
questionable other stains everywhere and stuff. Usually those like 6 to 12 months. That's usually what we do. So
And are you finding that a lot of people like that you come to their house, so that way they don't have to like bring it to a shop and wait and all that?
absolutely, we have a lot of people that ask us a lot, or at least ask me when I'm on jobs, like, "Oh, are you you're just doing this mobile thing until you save enough to have a shop?" And I'm like, "No, I said the business is mobile. I mean, it's
Yeah.
obviously you're not necessarily as efficient because you have to work around the weather. You have to work in hot temperature. You have to work in whatever temperatures. We work all year round, cold, hot, whatever. But we just find a way to be good at it. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
so the business is definitely mobile.
Yeah.
one day I would like to have a shop, but it's not for doing the work in. It would be for storing all of our equipment
Right. Yeah.
when it's cold, so I don't have to, when it's below freezing, I have to unload everything out of the van because it'll freeze and crack equipment and stuff.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So I'd like to have a shop to kind of like a warehouse kind of thing, but then also be able to do vehicles there in bad weather kind of
Right.
stuff. Rainy day, I can whatever. So,
So
but no, it's mobile is definitely where it's at. It's very convenient for the customer.
if somebody wants you to come in their garage and use the space, will you do it
Oh yeah,
in the winter?
we do that all the time.
Yeah.
Actually, we go if they have a garage that's available. Well, especially in the wintertime when it's below freezing, we try to fit people in as best we can. We do a lot more, nobody really cares about the outsides in the wintertime. If they're going to get salt on it, they just run them through the car wash, which we do. We do a lot if it's above freezing and stuff, but
Right.
interiors, we do a lot more just interior onlys in the wintertime. So like I'll bring a heater, a big heater and stuff. And
Yeah.
as long as I have access to their garage, we'll set the heater up in the garage and
Right.
unload my entire van, pretty much turn my van into a workshop in their garage
Oh well.
and close the door and
Yeah.
go to work.
So what, are you guys just cleaning cars, or you do other stuff as well?
So we've gotten into a lot more than just cars, trucks, vehicles. We've gotten into we joke the only thing we haven't cleaned is a train. And I don't really have an interest in cleaning
Yeah.
trains. I
Yeah.
don't even know where I'd start with that. But I mean, if let's just say a big train company like CSX or something called us, like, hey,
Right.
you want to clean our train? Sure, we can finally put that off. Anyway,
You figure it out.
we got into doing heavy equipment. I do a lot of heavy equipment for local heavy equipment dealers. A lot of like used rentals and stuff that come back, or used equipment that they're selling that comes in on trades and stuff. We'll do a full, really get down and clean every ounce of mud out of these dirty construction vehicles,
Right.
excavators, bobcats,
Oh wow.
you name it. And then farm equipment, we do a lot, especially this area with
Right.
a lot of Frederick County is still agriculture,
Yeah.
especially the north side of the county. We do a lot of farm equipment for people and stuff because those are really big investments
Right.
for the farmers and big construction owners and stuff. That's equipment is extremely expensive, and they
Yeah.
want to upkeep it. And we also now are able to we do a long lasting. I just went to got certified in a coating. No, it's kind of different than a ceramic coating. It's an anti-corrosive coating that's made for heavy equipment and stuff. So you put it on with like a spray paint gun kind of thing.
Okay.
You have to. It's a pretty involved process, but it's
Right.
it puts a thick clear coat on tractors and stuff that's going to be exposed to chemicals and stuff. To
Right. Yeah.
some of this equipment's $500,000 to $1 million.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and these farmers have a lot of equipment. So,
Right. Yeah.
we've gotten into boats, RVs. We do those all kind of as they come and go.
Yeah.
More campers, RVs, and boats, but I mean I've done a fair share of boats as well.
Right.
And
Like
then
for Lake Holiday, or
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean it's some for there, and there's a boat shop. A good friend of mine owns a boat shop on Route 50 in Gore, and that's where I usually do the most of the boats at and stuff. But
Okay.
here lately, I've done a couple of customers' houses and stuff as well. So
Right.
just
So
I've never done one in the water. I mean, I know
Right. Yeah.
I watch a lot of detailing videos, and some of the boat detailers, they can't, they go right to the marina or whatever,
Right. Yeah.
and they're mostly cleaning like just the insides of them and stuff when they're in the water. But
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? Like get in the water and
Yeah.
anyway, airplanes. We've gotten into doing a lot of
Oh wow.
aircraft.
How do you even clean a
That blows
airplane?
a lot of people's minds when they're like, "Oh my gosh, you do airplanes?"
Right.
It's like, yeah, we we do. We've done a lot of aircraft locally and stuff. We just got to know people with the airport and stuff, and
Right. Yeah.
you do one, and it was just off to the races, really. And oh my goodness, it was. I just finished a small airplane 2 weeks ago, I believe. Over the summer, we did two massive corporate jets for a local business owners and stuff that have two very very high end multi-million-dollar corporate jets.
Wow.
So they, instead of just doing a basic wash and wax, we did The whole outside was just, it had no shine left on it and stuff. And so we polished them. We did a full paint correction, polishing on
Jeez.
these massive airplanes, and trying to figure out the logistics for that was, we had to rent a big lift from Winchester Equipment.
Wow.
So the top of the tail wing was 18 to 20 feet off the ground, I think. So
Wow.
the whole everything, the fuselage has got to be cleaned, polished. The bottom of it, the tops of the wings, the bottom of the wings. We did the interior of them as well. You know,
Yeah.
we went in, shampooed all the carpets, cleaned all the leather seats,
Yeah.
made this jet look pretty much brand new.
Right.
And we did 2 of them for him, just a couple, about a month apart. But
How long does that take to clean?
we did about a week. We did 6, I say a week, 6 days, but usually some days were 12-hour days. You know, just
Yeah.
trying to get it done on time.
Right. Yeah.
It was definitely an adventure, but I can't wait to do another one. So
Right.
the
Yeah.
end result was really cool, though. To
Yeah.
take some really cool pictures. That
And you
really,
you meet people that you probably wouldn't have met before.
oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. It's when I'm there, I've got the hangar doors open and stuff at the airport where they keep their airplanes, and people are walking by and stuff, or they
Right.
like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, what's going on here and stuff." And
Yeah.
yeah, I've met just, I love talking to people, so
Right.
I meet people that way, and so they're like, "Oh, how much do you charge to do this?" I'm like, "Hey, whatever. Here's my business card," and then they call us, and like, "Oh, well,
And
it's
I
like
think
airplanes. They want, once they see their friends that looks a certain way, like, oh, I've got to have mine look that way too.
right. Yeah. And I
So
think this helps your business grow a lot too with the mobile aspect because you're the one that owns a business. You're talking to the customers. You're doing the work. Like if you had a shop, they're probably coming in talking to the front desk person, and they don't even see the owner or the person doing the
yep,
work. So this gives you a good kind of a good soapbox or something to
yeah,
stand on a little bit.
absolutely. So that's yeah, that's exactly right, because you have customers trust, but to a certain level, obviously, because they don't know you. They're handing their keys over their vehicle to a complete stranger.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
they see what we do on Facebook and stuff, but still they don't know.
Right.
They've never met me and stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't see how you work and stuff like that. That's the great thing about being mobile. I mean, you can't, I mean, not saying we would ever hide anything, but
Yeah.
you can't hide anything because you're doing it in their garage, at their house, in their driveway. They're watching you, which is good. I think transparency is
Mm.
wonderful.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's how we're able to build a really good, you know, base and rapport with the customer. Just because it's so transparent and stuff. Like, for instance, last evening, I was finishing a job and doing a job in Strasbourg, and the owner of the vehicle wanted it polished and stuff, get scratches out of it and everything, and you could tell he was in nothing against him, great guy and stuff, but I don't think he trusted me at first and stuff, because he's like, "All right, are you sure you can?" And then he'd go inside, and like 5 minutes later, come right back out and stuff. "All right, you good?" And like every like 5 minutes, he
Right.
kept
Yeah.
coming out just to check on me and stuff. But he's fantastic. And once I said, "Here, let me show you. Let me show." You. I brought him right over. I said, I brought him to the hood of his truck that I was working on, and it had a whole bunch of like little swirl marks in the hood. And this particular truck is his baby. He keeps it. I don't think he ever drives it, to be honest. Like, it just lives in the garage. But and I said, "Here, I want to show you something." And I said, "This is what I'm going to do for you." And I brought my polisher and the electric buffer, and I did like a little tiny section, like maybe a 1 foot by 1 foot area.
Yeah.
And I said, "All right, come take a look at this." And I shine my light on it, and when he saw that, his eyes got huge. He's like, "I had no idea you could ever make this truck look that good again." And after that, he never came back outside.
Oh wow. Yeah.
He's like, that guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Develop that trust. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe that's it. He was very happy with it. But
Yeah.
or if you were at a shop, it's
You don't see that.
you don't see
Yeah.
that.
You just
There's no
see.
transparency. He sees my whole setup. I'm an honest worker. Stuff like that. And so,
Right. Yeah.
but yeah, it's being mobile obviously has its challenges and stuff, but it's definitely the businesses. That's where
Also
it's at.
benefits. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This episode is brought to you by, well, me. If you're looking at buying or selling in Virginia or West Virginia, I'm Matt Kilmer with eXp Realty, ready to help you with all your real estate needs. Whether it's finding the perfect home or selling your current one, I've got you covered. Reach out to me below and let's make a move. All right, back to the good stuff.
So how have you adjusted to be an entrepreneur versus you were a firefighter? You're kind of told what to do and when to show up to work and stuff. How's that?
Right.
How's
Yeah.
that been?
I mean, it was definitely a big change. Definitely a big change of getting the structure of the fire department and stuff is very, kind of, I wouldn't say paramilitary, but I mean, we, definitely strict, and we definitely had a lot more, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like structure pretty much,
Right. Yeah. Which is obviously good in that environment.
the word I'm trying to think, I can't think of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's making the transition over to going full time with the detailing and stuff. It's like I was able to incorporate a lot of stuff that I learned and stuff through being disciplined. That's the word I was looking for.
Right. Yeah.
That I was disciplined in with when I worked for fire and rescue. I was able to move a lot of that over to owning a business. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously I've interacted with, when I was at the fire department, we ran, patient EMS call, whatever. I interacted with a lot of patients and stuff. So obviously I've already had a good way to talk with people and stuff, but instead of asking them if they're, if this leg hurts or this leg hurts, like what's wrong with your vehicle now,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It was definitely a transition, but I mean, it really wasn't, it was just it was a big, scary jump, leaving the fire department
Right.
2
Yeah.
years ago in January 23, because it was in the middle of winter time, and
Oh wow.
people that I worked with thought I was crazy. They said, like, you're going to leave a sound job, you're making benefits and health, in the middle of winter time
Right.
to
Yeah.
go detail outside. I said, yeah, absolutely. And just because I knew what we wanted and stuff, and
Yeah.
I was the one actually was dragging my feet. My wife was the one that was told me over and over. She's like, let's make it happen. Like,
Right. Yeah.
we've got all these jobs lining up, and like you're too busy at your full-time job. The full-time job is getting in the way of what we can
Right.
grow the business.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And was she working at that point?
no,
Or
she's
she was
ever since we had our first child in 2018. She's been she used to be a teacher. She was a Spanish teacher at Sharando High School.
Okay.
And then once we had our first child, she stayed at home with the girls. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't have it any other way. She's
Right.
when we first got married, and she told me, she's, "Oh, I'm gonna stay at home with the after." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like,
Right. Yeah.
and now, like, I absolutely not. I would,
Right. Yeah.
I love being able to work all day and provide for the family and stuff, and
Yeah.
just more traditional kind of stuff. It's
Right.
it's I take a lot of pride in it and stuff. So
Yeah.
and she's happy with what she does and stuff. So
Yeah. So leaving that full time job
yeah,
with the benefits and all that stuff and being an entrepreneur. Yeah. Now it's provided for your family and you guys are busier than ever. Do you have a 10-year plan, 5-year plan where you want to go?
I mean, probably not officially on paper, but obviously we have a lot of goals, and we're very hungry to achieve them.
Right.
We're doing a lot to make that happen. I mean, right now the first big leap was, like I said, 2 years ago, leaving my full-time job and going full-time with Top Dog.
Yeah.
And the next leap from there was hiring people. So about a year ago, I hired our first part-time guy, and since then I've had I've had 2 full-time people that work. They came and go. I mean, it was over the summer. They were young and stuff. They went to college and stuff afterwards, but
Right.
they did really good with us and stuff. And the next thing I'm hoping in the next, we just did interviews last week. Actually, we used the business center, the old Armory, actually, at Shenandoah University, because that's now business something. But
Right. Yeah.
and so we reserved a room there and did interviews there. So we interviewed three or 4 people for the business. So we're trying to, ideally, I'd like to hire 2 people right now.
Right. Yeah.
If I could financially make it work.
Right. Yeah.
Because we're buying a second work van, and
Okay.
that's the next big step. So
Right.
we'll have two crews on the road at once. So
Yeah. And do you try to find employees that already know what they're doing, or you're just going to train them from the ground up?
the other guys I've had they had no previous experience detailing stuff, maybe
I mean, I'm sure.
washing their cars and stuff.
Yeah.
These guys that we just interviewed, this last group, they all have background of experience, which it's just who applied and stuff. We didn't require you to have experience, obviously,
Yeah.
experience, preferred, but I
Right.
can teach anybody how to, and I'm going to teach them how to do my way, our system,
Right.
everything that way. But so we have those individuals that we're working on going through the process and stuff. So
Yeah.
now we don't have the work van yet, but maybe when this gets aired, I'll have the
Right,
work
yeah.
van by then. So
So when you get the new van, will the second crew get the new one? And
Yes.
or will you get it?
Believe it or not, yeah.
Yeah.
In my head, I was like, oh man, this would be great. Because my van's right now, it's a nothing fancy. It's a 2010 Chevy
Right.
white work van that, it's got 235,000 miles on it, and
Yeah.
the paint flies off of it in sections because it's
Yeah.
got bad paint.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, it's unique, it's mine, and it's paid for.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and it gets the job done. So, but yeah, so the new van is going to go to the new
Right.
crew,
Yeah.
so they can deal with something that's nicer,
Right.
and probably be a little safer on the road, maybe for them.
Right. Yeah.
Same thing. I'm gonna have to get a whole second set of tools and equipment and
Okay.
steam cleaners, and I'll put all that on the new van. So,
Right. Yeah.
so if something breaks, it's a lot less likely they'll have downtime.
Yeah.
And then I know how to troubleshoot all my equipment. I've became a master mechanic of carpet shampoo machines and steam cleaners, and I've taken apart a whole vacuum system in a parking lot one time. Was
Right.
I needed it done, and I keep a toolbox in the van, and
Oh, wow.
there was a little tiny little like gasket that broke,
Yeah.
and inside it was actually the steam cleaner, and I'm on the phone with the people that own the steam cleaning company that makes these,
Yeah.
and he's telling me, he's like, do this. I'm like, all right, when I'm talking to this guy on the phone, and
Yeah.
yeah. So we got it done, and we got the job done. So
Right. Yeah.
whatever to keep the show going, really.
Yeah.
So
So I guess you're pretty naturally handy if you're able to do that kind of stuff,
if I am, yeah,
or you're learning as you go.
that's the key word right there, is learning as you go.
Right. Yeah. Never stop learning. Right.
Right. Never stop learning.
And I'm
There you
sure
go.
your vans are pretty organized, and you guys have like a dialed in system of how you do things.
We do. It's not as organized as I'd like it to be.
Right. Yeah.
You see a lot of other people's setups. They have these really I say other, not necessarily locally, but in the detailing industry, of really nice detailing setups. And they have a generator, water tank, which I have all that on my van. But they'll have everything on like cord reels coming off the van, so you don't have to wrap electric cords back up when you're done. It's a retractable reel.
Yeah.
I can't really. I've debated that, but we're so diverse in what our scope of what we do, equipment wise and stuff on jobs, that I'll go to sometimes I'll go to construction sites to where I can't take the van where the equipment's at,
Right. Yeah.
or it's on the other side of a fence at a construction site or something, and the owner's not there. I just go do my thing, and I have to
Yeah.
unload and move equipment closer,
Yeah.
or with the airplanes and stuff. Well, I work on the inside of an airplane. I can't, take my work van inside of the airplane.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I
Exactly.
can park close, but yeah. So right now it's organized enough to be what I need it.
Efficient. Yeah.
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 Some people look at it like, oh my goodness, it's
Right. Yeah.
it's a hot mess. I said, well, it's my hot mess.
Yeah. There you go.
It's I mean, obviously I keep it as clean as I possibly can.
Right.
I think of it because, I mean, obviously my previous career was with the fire department. Towards the end, I did a lot of I drove a lot of, that was my thing, is driving fire trucks and stuff, and
Yeah.
they're all very, very organized and stuff. So I try to think of my work van as a little mini fire truck, and it's kind of like a
Right.
big rolling toolbox. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything on there.
Right. Yeah.
Speaking of like the fire truck part of it, obviously my work van is not a fire truck, but we, um, I keep an extra. I keep a 50-foot section of hose. I have a 60-gallon water tank with a water pump and everything that I can run off the generator. And I keep an extra little a little like sprayer thing, so in case if I come across like a fire, not like a house fire or something, but like, you never know,
Right. Yeah.
or not necessarily like another vehicle fire. Maybe if my stuff catches on fire.
Yeah. At least you know what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and I, know I have extinguishers on it. I have a water tank kind of thing. And I bring that up just because I was over the summer, I saw that. I was at 7-Eleven in Stephen City, coming home from a job, and I was like backing up, and I looked in my rear view. I don't have a rear view mirror, but I looked in the mirror, and it's literally a car on fire on 81, pulled over on the shoulder, like
Yeah.
right there. He just pulled over, and the car was on fire,
Yeah.
and everybody's standing there, videoing and stuff. Like, no, is anybody gonna go help this guy?
Right.
And unfortunately, my water tank was empty, so
Oh
I was
man.
debating though. I was like, oh, I can pull over into the grass, pull my hose off and stuff, and I'll go over and at least help him save his car before it completely goes. And
Right.
so
Yeah.
I took my fire extinguisher over to him, which ended up being a dud. It was it didn't work. It was pretty embarrassing, but
Oh wow.
I guess it was the thought that counted. But anyway,
Yeah. No. I've only had to use a fire extinguisher one time in my life, and that I think the adrenaline, like, I everybody sees them, and you're like, oh yeah, you just pull the pin and stuff like that. But when you're in the moment,
sure,
like that thing rips off, and I don't even. It's like powder that comes off,
yeah, it
or
is.
just like flour.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
in my head, I can see just
thankful for what you guys
I
do
can
in the fire
see
department.
just it's me and my brain how it works. I can see like you pulling the pin, like pulling. It's like
I know. Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
gets on the fire, and you're just like ah.
Yeah. When you need that thing,
I'd probably do the same thing. Though, so
instinct
like,
kicks in, and you know exactly what to do somehow.
maybe I don't do all that anymore though. So it's
Right, yeah. But at least you have the
yeah, I get it.
experience.
Like people, I don't know. People joke because I was medical was EMT and stuff. So somebody would be like, oh, you can do whatever. We'd be hanging out with my friends. So I'm like, oh, you can. You're safe. He's an EMT. I'm like, you're not safe. I don't do that anymore. Like I can't help you.
Right,
We
yeah.
joke around about that. But
Yeah, you get a little rusty.
yeah, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so.
So do you find people that, a lot of people work 9 to 5. So you guys are only working Monday to Saturday, you said? Can they just like leave their keys at their house or something, and you can just show up, clean their car?
So
Do
yeah,
people trust you to do that?
we've done that a lot actually.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, or we'll get customers that will say, hey, I won't be home. We'll have to reschedule for a different time. And Valerie will say, hey, no, it's just put the keys somewhere or
Right.
just leave it unlocked, but keep the key fob in the house, whatever and stuff.
Yeah.
And usually they have no problem with that. They'll as long as they trust us. And they've that's the good thing of building up our rapport with the community and stuff. So we have a pretty good reputation. So people do that all the time. They'll leave their car unlocked, hide the key
Right,
under
yeah.
a mat somewhere, and then we'll have a designated place to hide it when it's done, or
Right, yeah.
whatever. So
I mean,
yeah, it's very convenient for the customer. So and then it doesn't have to be at their house. I'll go to their work.
right.
I've done vehicles in parking lots, the hospital.
wow.
I've done.
Also, you'll come to them too?
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
go to we do.
It doesn't have to be at their house?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as I can. Like I said, I have a generator and a water tank.
Yeah.
I can go anywhere. Really, I mean.
Yeah, that's Oh, so you're not even using the customer's water at
Nope.
all?
Nope. I have a water tank and
Yeah.
I run everything off the van. I'm
Where
completely self-contained.
Where do you fill the water up every day before
My
work?
house.
Okay. So does the water company ever call you and
No,
say,
but
"Hey, your bill's 2,000 this
Right.
month. Something's wrong."
not yet. But we've seen definitely a slight increase of our water bill, but it's really not that. I mean, it's really not that bad. I mean, it's a 60-gallon water tank. It's not like I'm filling 1,000 gallons a day or something.
Yeah, it's not like a
but-
pool where you got to get a truck
Right.
to come deliver the water for you.
Yeah, no, it's. But we actually made my wife Valerie made one of our reels that she came up with and stuff. The videos. One of them was one of the things she said was we'll raise our water bill, not yours, and stuff, or
Right.
something
Oh,
like
okay.
that. So we've actually advertised that, like we'll run our utilities up, not yours.
Right,
So-
yeah.
And
No.
I didn't start that way. I when I first started, I would bring electric cords, and I had to rely on having access to water, having access to power.
Right, yeah.
And then I got the generator on the van, and then so I was still running power off the van, but I still didn't have a water tank set up.
Right, yeah.
Actually, I did have the water tank; it just wasn't all hooked up. And
Right.
the poor tank actually rode around the van for 6 months maybe before I was like,
Oh, well.
I need to get around to doing this.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're completely self-contained.
I
And
mean, that is good for the customer because you can give them a quote
absolutely,
and they don't have to worry about, their water bill, going up a little bit because you use their water, their
Sure.
electricity. Like, that's the price.
Yeah, and we've had that. We'll before I had, or they'll still ask that sometimes, like, oh, you're gonna be out there for 4 hours, and
Right,
how
yeah.
much electricity are you gonna be drawing? And it's like, don't worry about it. I'm just burning my own. So, like, what do you mean? I said, no, I have a generator and I can run all my equipment and run it
Right.
off the van. They're
It's
like,
all built right into the
so
price.
they're blown away.
Right,
literally.
yeah.
So,
And if, like, as inflation hits and all that stuff, have you guys had to increase your prices or how have you kind of tackled that?
we have. we had to adjust here and there. I mean, I try to stay as fair and affordable. Obviously, I still have to, provide for my family as well.
Yeah.
But we've had to make some changes since we've gotten started, just as no different than any other business does.
Right.
You know, I go through a lot of products, a lot of chemicals, gas.
Right. Yeah.
I
Going down now, I think.
it is going down. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
we'll see. See how that keep it going, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, especially when gas prices a couple years ago were
They could-
$4 plus.
Right.
I don't remember the exact price, but it was up there.
Yeah.
I know just that short time we definitely had to, because I was burning through a lot of gas.
Tank a day.
Yeah, I was going through a lot of gas, and it was really adding up. So, but some of the chemicals that I order and buy that I really like is some of them have doubled, tripled
Oh wow.
in price.
Yeah.
Some of our products have a lot of like silicone in them, so it's stuff that other people don't really think about. Usually anything in car care products that's shiny is a silicone base.
Okay.
Tire shine, interior shine, dressing. It's gonna have silicone in it.
Right.
It's a shiny whatever. But there was 2-3 years ago there was a major silicone shortage that
wow.
I didn't even know could happen.
Right. Yeah.
And our supplier that I get all my products from, a family-owned business in West Virginia, and they're a distributor. But I'm like, what? Why? What do you mean I can't get this stuff? And he said, well, there's a silicone shortage.
Like,
Okay,
didn't know that was possible.
yeah, make more. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then when they finally even got their hands on stuff, it was like 5 times the price.
Oh wow.
Oh my goodness! Like,
Right.
what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
We had to raise our prices a little bit, but we're still, we don't charge like a mileage fee or anything. We're pretty flat rate for the majority of stuff.
Yeah.
Just buy different size vehicles and stuff. So, and we do a lot more than just, we do paint corrections, polishing, ceramic coatings. You think of it, we've pretty much done it, and we offer it. So.
And you're staying in the Shenandoah Valley, or do you go to West Virginia as well?
So we are licensed and insured in Virginia and West Virginia. So yeah, I go into West Virginia, the Eastern Panhandle a good bit, up and down 81. I've been into Romney. I've been in Romney many a times doing jobs up there and stuff.
Yeah.
Romney, Augusta. Yeah, I've been into Falling Waters, all the way up and down 81 corridor. Really, I
Yeah.
go to Charlestown every once in a while, a good bit.
Which just shows you how like social media, how word can spread
Exactly.
so quickly.
It's crazy.
Or word of mouth can take you so far, but social media, like it's probably
crazy. It's
wild.
wild.
Yeah, it's getting you into Romney and stuff. You might be driving an hour to do a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the farthest we've been was just about a month ago. We went to Virginia Beach. We did.
wow.
We got in with a fire truck dealer that there was a big firefighters convention in Virginia Beach Convention Center, and I did one fire truck for them up here like 2 months ago over the winter, and he said, "Hey, how far are you willing to travel?" What to give me the information. And he said, "Well, we've got a show coming up in Virginia Beach." He said, "We want to have all 3 of these 2 ladder trucks and a pumper, looking brand spanking new."
Right.
Yeah. So he said, "Throw me a price." And he said, "Give us a price and we'll see what happens." And we factored everything. We got a hotel for like 4 days and travel time and stuff. And we made it work. We went down to Virginia Beach. It was cool. Stayed in the hotel in
Oh wow.
middle of February and stuff. And
You bring the whole family with you? or-
nope, just
No?
me and my full-time employee right now, Alex.
Okay.
And we stayed in the hotel room, and we actually did all 3 trucks. Well, in 2 days, we did most of them one day, and then we moved them inside the convention center, did all the touch-ups and stuff.
Right.
And then an hour after we were finished, they canceled the entire convention because that was when the snowstorm hit Virginia Beach, and they got like 15 inches of snow in Virginia Beach.
Which is so rare.
But so the only people that really made any money down there was us because like our job was done. But
Right. Yeah. Oh wow.
but they were really easy to work with. So it was a really cool trip. And then the same company, it's like we've got 2 more fire trucks sitting in Roanoke. Would you want to go down there and do those? Absolutely. So we loaded up, left around 6 a.m. and
Yeah. Is that a day trip or a hotel also?
that was a day trip. We went down to
Cool.
Roanoke, it's just east of Roanoke.
It's like
and,
3.5 hours.
About, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about 3 hours, yeah.
Wow.
So we went down to the 2 trucks and started around 9 o'clock. We were done around 4 or 5 o'clock.
Wow.
and back up to Winchester.
Yeah.
So
Jeez.
I put a lot of miles on my van.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess you got to factor in like the maintenance of the vehicle too, because
Yeah.
you're traveling so much.
Absolutely. I think I bought, and mind you, the van's nothing new. I bought it at 170,000 miles 3 years ago, and I think it's got 230, 240 on it right now. So I've probably put 60,000 miles on it myself.
Oh well,
But
yeah,
it's been good. I mean, it's been reliable. Knock on wood.
yeah. There you go.
But yeah, it's been busy. We've been blessed to stay
Yeah.
really busy. So
Cool. Well, we appreciate you coming on the podcast today.
yeah.
If somebody wants to get their car detailed, what do they do? Do they call you? Go to your website?
So yeah, we you can call the business line at 540-692. Oh my goodness.
We'll put it.
I got to turn around and look at the back of my shirt so I know what it is.
Yeah.
It should be 540-692-3882. That's the business line, or you can contact us on, you can look up our new website. Actually, we're completely revamping the website. It's topdogdetailingva.com. And then our Facebook page as well, Top Dog Detailing. You can see all of our before and afters, our fun little reels and stuff like that. So you might hear a radio ad too. We have a radio ad that runs on 95.3 The River
Okay.
radio station. And yeah, or Google us. I mean,
Yeah.
and then if you give us a call, you'll talk to my wonderful wife, Valerie, and she'll get you booked and taken care of. And we'll see you sometime soon and get your car, make it the top dog of the neighborhood.
Sounds good. We
So,
appreciate it. Thank
absolutely. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me on this podcast.
Yep.
This is awesome.
you. Yeah. You're welcome.
Thanks again.
Yep.